all I can say is, kudos to Michigan for winning this, but I hope to hell Iowa beats them. just for the intrigue of who goes to the playoffs.
Gotcha. Definitely looking forward to that. Ohio State's coach, let's talk about
Rondé.
Talking about him maybe seeking somewhere else. I don't think he quits. I mean, yeah, he hasn't beat Michigan. I think with this series it goes back and forth, right? There's an ebb and flow. Go ahead, Dan.
No, I was gonna say I saw a statistic that they threw up on the game, or it might have been after the game, but it's ludicrous, like his winning percentage. But the teams he lost to, he's lost to Michigan now 3 times, but he lost to Georgia, I think, was it last year?
Yep.
Like the only losses he has is like top 10 teams or top 5 in the rankings. So it's not like they're getting blown out or they can't beat people. It just, this is the hiccup for them to get to the promised land and play for the championship.
Well, Michigan is currently number, if I do I think there's still, did the AP poll come out here? Let me get it up here.
No, it comes out tomorrow at 7.
Comes out tomorrow, right? Well, they was ranked number 3. And like you said, a lot of chaos could ensue. Alabama, what they did on the other night against Auburn with the Hail Mary, what they had going on. Washington State, Washington, who's playing Oregon in the Pac-10, the final Pac-10, Pac-12 conference championship game. That's going to be a lot to get into. So it could be something here this last, for the Pac-12 with 4 teams getting in, and somebody's going to be crying being left out. So we'll see. Let me see if the DA is here. DA, are you with us? He's still trying to figure that out. As he figures that out, hopefully Otis.
Otis, my man, plug him in. Let's go.
Yeah, man. Look, man. It's my son. He fucking started doing it. I still can't see my goddamn screen. But shit, at least I can hear you, Dan.
Okay, well, on Michigan, as you try to work that out, and the people are listening, Michigan, Ohio State, your thoughts as you try to work that out. And he's
this shit is fixed. I told you. I never seen a defensive holding call in my freaking life until Ohio State needed one to score a touchdown to keep them in the game in the beginning because Michigan was going to blow them out. Michigan was blowing them out the game. They were blowing them out the game. It was about to be bad. And they came down. Ohio State scored. Now, I'm a conspiracy theorist. Listen, I think it was a good game. I think the kids played well, both sides. It was a great football game, actually, man. And I think there's a lot of pros on both sides. A lot of dudes that I would like to have on my Niners because they went hard. I like the running back. There's a few guards. Tight ends for both teams played well. And that Harrison Jr. is serious business. Like it's not a game with that kid. Like you could tell his father was an elite NFL player because he's an elite college player. I don't think, dudes like, oh man, the coach at the guy from Ohio State, the quarterback is soft. I'm like, nah, he's just young. Like this is his first time doing this. Like the dude ain't soft. Dude's just young. That's all. Dude's just young. Now, I still don't think, people want to get rid of Ryan Day, but you'll be foolish if you do that because those guys don't fall off trees. And I know you want to beat, and me and Kevin, he sent me something this morning from, what's the dude's name at Penn State, man?
He's on Fox Sports, and he used to
LeVar Arrington.
Shout out to LeVar Arrington. Yes,
played in my era, had the big neck roll, big wild, crazy, right? So, and he said, "Yo, listen, guys, Penn State is not Ohio State, and they shouldn't beat Ohio State every." And I always remember we used to always joke, Kevin, and we say, "Oh, well, Ohio State's paying their dudes more than everyone else. They're supposed to win."
Right.
They're paying. Listen, back when they wasn't Jim Tressel in them days, and They had better players because they should have had better players back then. And that's just the truth of it, man. And I'm not saying it disrespectfully to anyone. But it is, it's very, very, very simple that, some schools are built different ways, and I don't think that it's a bad thing. It looks like this thing goes in cycles between Ohio State because Urban Meyer won like 7 in a row. So it's just, that time. Kids are not going to, Ohio State, at least at certain positions on the field, that they are for, Michigan, like offensive linemen. And I'm not saying that they have bad offensive linemen, so nobody calling and call anyway. I don't care. I guess I'm gonna be like that, right? Love, hate, whatever. But yeah, it don't matter. Like they got kids. These kids are coming in and they can play. It's just the reality is not everybody is going to be exactly, everything is not built equally, man, in the world. So it's a good game. Those kids went hard, played a good game. I don't think anyone's, I know their parents and everybody in the state acts crazy, but the reality is I don't think anybody should be that broken up on either team about the way they played. So that's all right. Good game.
Let me read this real quick. If Ohio State does fire Ryan Day in 2023, it will owe Day $46.22 million. That ranks as the 9th highest buyout in college football and the 3rd in the Big Ten.
They're not firing him.
Why?
They're not going to fire him. I mean, Jimbo Fisher was like $76 million, and they already replaced him with the Duke coach.
Yeah,
but yeah, they're not firing him.
Go ahead, Dan. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, like, that's a toss-up game every year, and like, Ohio State had the issues the year before where they crowded the box and they were getting beat deep because they had no high safety. This year they had a high safety. The game's way closer. They were able, to limit the big plays. But yeah, that Corum kid had a great game. It's hats off to him. Like both teams played their hearts out. At the end of the day, somebody's got to lose.
That's a fact.
100%. 100%. Go ahead.
If I may, real quick, man. Again, even and I'm not the biggest Jimbo Fisher fan, but I will say, dude, like it's those schools are like shepherding huge corporations. You know what I mean? So you come from Duke. That's that's a small company. That's people think it's a big company. Like, oh man, TIAA Cref is a big company. Well, until you put it next to Vanguard, and then it's not a big company anymore, right? So this is what happens when you go to these big schools. You got to deal with the alumni and all the things that they have there. Man, it's not the freaking same. It's a different world, and you're dealing with listen, man, dude from Louisville, I forget his name, Strong, right? Strong, right? That was his name. Yeah. He went to Texas, and it was like, wow, this is different because it's different. The expectations are it's a different game, man.
Yeah, but I think
believe it or not, it's a different game. No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think I can't think of the guy's name. I just actually watched the video of them introducing him.
He's a good coach.
But like everywhere he's been, he's gotten the most out of the talent that he has.
No, it's not the talent.
But Texas A&M has the talent. They're just disconnected between, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, special teams. Like they're not all on the same page. And I think that, this dude comes in there, he could possibly get the best out of what players he has and turn the program around. Because I think it was Duke was 3-9 when he got there, and they went 9-4.
Yeah.
So the guy obviously can coach,
Facts.
And, a little more pressure though, with all those boosters and, the buyouts that they paid to get rid of the previous coach, that you need to get your shit right. But I think he'll do all right.
Okay, let's move on to the next game.
Hey, but one thing about that I wanted to say real quick, guys, is that I agree with you, Dan. It wasn't and I get this from the Tennessee job, and I forgot there was a good coach that went to Tennessee, and I'm not talking about Laney. Um, the thing with Tennessee and those big schools, it's the alumni and those folks. It's not the kids or the team.
No,
It's
it's
the
the
other
boosters.
part of it's the other part of the game that makes things a little harder.
Gotcha. All right, cool. We'll move along to the next game: Washington State versus the University of Washington. The Huskies. The Huskies defeat the Cougars 24-21 in a walk-off field goal. Let me read this from the AP. Putting a cap on a perfect regular season. Just the second in school history required Washington coach Kalen DeBoer to make one of the riskiest calls of the career. If you didn't see this game, I actually watched this game. It helped to know that the ball was likely to end up in the hands of Roman Adunzi. Adunzi 23-yard run on 4th and 1 and deep in Washington's own end helped set the stage for Grady Grosses to kick a 42-yard field goal on the final play of the fourth, as the fourth-ranked Huskies beat Washington State 24-21 on Saturday in the Apple Cup. If you didn't see the play, man, the play was dope in itself. It was absolutely a misdirection, and I was like, wow, it was something else. Penix Jr. dropped that back. He dropped back like he was going to throw, can't talk. And as he handed the ball off to Aduze, it was a misdirection, and he ripped it off for 23 yards, first down. They a couple more plays down the field. They kicked the walk-off field goal. Hey, Washington's 12-0. Let me give you by the numbers. Michael Penix Jr., he was 18 of 33, 204 yards, 2 TDs, 1 interception. Johnson was 21 of 82. Adunze, like I said, that one run for 23 yards was a killer for them. And kudos to Washington State, man, for giving a valiant effort. And like you said, with these rivalry games, it means every and anything. So sometimes I think you can throw out the stats, and as they just line it up and see where it goes. Ward, the quarterback, was 32 of 48, 317 yards, 3 TDs, and 2 interceptions. So I don't know. Hold on a second. Can DA hear me? Can you hear us now, bro? I'm good. So, hey, I'll give it to Dan. Your thoughts on this Washington game. And hey, before I say that, shout out to Michael Penix Jr. If I had a vote, and maybe hopefully soon, he would be my Heisman Trophy winner. So I'll go on that note. Go ahead, Dan.
Nah, you're spot on this. Like, rivalry week means shit. So, like, when Pitt plays West Virginia, it doesn't matter who's good, who's bad. That game's always a banger. Same thing with Washington State. Same thing with Alabama and Auburn. Like, we're probably going to talk about that game later. Same thing. Like, Alabama's got 1 loss and Auburn's got like 5 going into that game. But what's on the line makes all the difference. Those games are so hard to just predict because you never know what's going to happen. And like, Washington State's not a bad team.
No, 5-7. No.
Yeah, no, they're not. I mean, they've given like, because I've been kind of following the Pac-12 or whatever it's called now.
Yes, same here.
For the next week or whatever. But like, at one point, I think they had all but one team that was ranked at the beginning.
Whatever.
At the beginning of the season. So, it's no coincidence.
1-1-1-2.
We can hear you, D.
Oh, okay. It said mic check. Sorry, I'm late. I'm late on the reading it, so I'm sorry.
Otis got you all fucked up. It's all right.
Yeah.
We're gonna kick Otis out your office, dog.
He's still out the office. He's outside the office now.
Okay, let's focus on Washington State and Washington. Go ahead, Dan.
But this, you were watching this game, and I was watching the Alabama Auburn game, and we were kind of texting back and forth, and I was like, Washington, like Penix Jr., he's a good quarterback or a really great quarterback. And it was just one of those things where, it's a rivalry game, the last one they're going to have. So both teams just put it on the field. And, what's crazy is Washington is a 9-point underdog in the Pac 12 championship against Oregon next week.
That's because one of
And
them
they already beat them once.
Yeah, that's because one of them plays a little bit of defense sometimes. So, but yeah, it was a good game. It was a good game. I think it was a good game.
DA is anti Pac-12 because he said they don't.
Pac 4, Pac 2, Pac whoever they are, pack them up. Pack them up, and let them go. Right.
That's because he's in bed by 9.
Yes.
He never gets to see these guys.
Yes, indeed. That is true. But it's almost like that other league we don't talk about. I don't like watching 45 to 45. I play defense, so I understand these teams are playing well and they're doing the best they can. Don't get me wrong. So it's all love. Michael Penix Jr. is a great quarterback. I think he's going to be a great pro whenever he gets a chance to get there. I think also Washington State had a great offense the whole year. So it was going to be hard to hold them back. So, especially in the rivalry game. So kudos to both teams, man. And I wish everyone well. And I think the Pac 12, 10, whatever championship game is going to be a good game. Though it is what it is.
Otis, let them know.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, man, look. Right.
Well, I'll go into my bag here. Dan, you said the spread for that is 9 points, 9.5.
That's what I heard. It was Oregon's favored by 9.
It'll go down though.
Yeah, it will. It's going to fluctuate back and forth. But that plays into my theory of chaos. So Oregon beats Washington for the championship.
Mm-hmm.
What if Alabama beats Georgia?
Oh, Alabama's in.
Well, no, but think about this though. And then you got, Louisville beats Florida State. Texas wins out.
Don't matter.
No. But think about it. Texas already beat Alabama.
Too far ago. Too long ago.
I don't know, man. Like this whole 4-team college play. Like you can make it fucking 50 teams.
Listen,
and it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be the same thing. The last 6 teams to get in or have good records, like you could literally have the top 8 teams all with 1 loss.
Yes.
And who do you pick?
And this is why. This is why I told Kevin that we have to get away from in all sports. And I'm a human being. And Daryl laughed at me this morning. We have to get all the human shit out of it, period. Or it has to be a combination of the two, right? Because the reality is this. RPI matters. Wins over teams matter head-to-head. And then when it happened mattered because the first week of the season is not the same team as the last week of the season. So what happens is when that happens, like Alabama's not the same team that Texas beat. And I don't know if they beat them now because Texas still doesn't really play good defense, and Alabama started playing good defense. So it's kind of hard to say, but I love the anarchy. And, like Cersei Lannister, listen, I choose violence.
Oh,
I choose violence, man.
Go.
I choose violence. And my thing is just let it pop, man. We'll see what it is at the end, but it's hard, man. It really is hard. It's because, man, listen, I know that a team at the beginning of a season is not the same team that it is at the end of the year. So whatever Texas did with Alabama, and there's a lot of teams that happens to. So I'm not just using that, but those early games yes, they're good wins. But I don't think they're the last determining factor. But there has to be some mathematical way. And I know I'm being nerdy about it. But listen, I'm down to go back to the BCS with the computer and just plug all the things in and just let it happen. Bam.
But my thing is, too, do conference championships mean anything in these top 5 schools or top 5 conferences?
Not if you know the date.
No, Notre Dame's not in the conference, so that's mute. But like I'm talking like Georgia and Alabama. So if Alabama beats Georgia, they win the SEC. They should be in.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think you also have to do the ranking of the conference, top to bottom, offensive numbers and defensive numbers of the conference. So if your conference is a better conference, then yeah, you say okay. That's why when you said Louisville and Florida State, who I think is a great team if their quarterback was there, I think they're actually a SEC team in the ACC, but the ACC sucks.
Okay, but so Florida State wins, they win their
Doesn't
conference.
matter. Yeah,
They don't get in. Why not?
Nah, conference isn't good enough. Conference is not a good enough conference. You only got 1, 2, 3 teams that are good. Clemson has a negative record. They're not 500. So we go with. So you go Duke. North Carolina is dog crap. North Carolina State's been playing pretty well. I think they won the last 6 games.
They beat North Carolina on
and
Saturday.
They beat North Carolina. North Carolina is playing like dog shit, right? So now you're saying, how good is that conference really? Georgia Tech is whack, right? So you can put these schools out and say they're not good, and you'll put them against, like you said, you'll put them against the pack, and they're not gonna match up to the pack. They don't have good enough teams.
Okay, so they run the gauntlet and go undefeated, and they don't deserve to be there.
I'm not saying they don't deserve to be there. I'm saying
but that's the question. They don't deserve to be there. They didn't lose to Texas. They didn't lose to Michigan. They won every game.
They deserve to be there, but you don't have the quarterback. Yeah,
okay, so
I got you. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just
no. We're getting this shit out here because this is a big issue.
I'm just telling you what's going to happen. So,
no.
You may not like what I say, but it is what's going to happen. So,
but my thing is you're discounting Florida State because their quarterback got hurt. So I think one guy is the entire team. So they don't deserve to be there because the quarterback.
I actually, and Kevin will back me up, and Darryl, I've said that Florida State is an SEC team. I think they can beat Washington. I think they can beat Oregon. I think they can beat Michigan. I think they're an SEC team. I think they're built like an SEC team.
But this goes back to the UFC conversation that I had with you guys. Yeah, when I first got on this. It doesn't matter who you play. Every game, there's a chance that you might lose. Freaky shit, whatever. The fact that you can run the gauntlet, you should have the opportunity to you win your conference. Like any of these teams that didn't win their conference have no business being in the playoffs unless there's multiple of them. And you have to pick one. Other than that, if you run the gauntlet and win your conference, you earn the right to play in the playoffs. You might not like it. We talked about it last year. TCU, guess what? Everybody was, they don't belong there. They don't belong there. They fucking beat Michigan.
Dan, this is the problem, man. You ready? This is the problem. If you only besides the money. Next year it works because there's 6 teams, right? Or 8. And there's only
that
right. No. Listen to what I'm saying.
Because you're still going to eliminate teams that should be there.
Listen to what I'm saying. Just rock with me for a second, officer.
I'm here.
Rock with me for a second. I'm here. This year it doesn't work for this reason. And it's pretty simple. There are more teams than there are spots. Next year it'll flip. It'll work. That's all. It'll work next year because there'll be spots for everybody. Everybody gets to play next year. That was always the problem with this system, is that there were 5 big conferences. There was a Power 5 and only a Power 4 spots. So somebody don't get to play. 2 years ago, there were 2 SEC teams in it and no Pac-10 or no Big 12 team. It's not fair. It's just what it is.
But
we got to move in. Go ahead, Dan. Your last point, and we got to move on. Go ahead.
The last point is the same issue is going to happen next year when they go to 8 teams or whatever it is.
Not a
Because
conference, Dad.
you're going to start arguing about the last couple teams to get in that deserve to be there. That's all. I mean,
There's always going to be an argument.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
I
mean,
agree with you.
unless you go to the basketball of NCAA tournament, you cannot please everybody.
No, you're not. And that's why I said, my point is, I agree. That's why we leave it to the computer, and we don't have a room full of people that are like football calls. 1 week this means something, and then next year that doesn't mean something.
Yeah.
Next show, 7:30. Next show.
Yeah, gotcha.
We'll get that.
Can't wait.
Yeah. Let me move on.
Can't wait. Mark Scott.
Alabama, the Crimson Tide defeated the Auburn Tigers in the Iron Bowl. Another exciting Iron Bowl. Me and Dan, I was watching the Washington State and Washington game. Dan was watching this game. And when Dan said 4th and 30, whatever it was, I was like, I don't know what he's talking about. I says, well, you know what, Alabama, y'all deserve to lose if y'all lost this to Auburn. And lo and behold, from the AP, Jalen Moore stood in the pocket for what felt like an eternity, where spotting Isaiah Bond and launching a pass that kept Alabama's playoff hopes alive, and etched a 4th and 31 in the Iron Bowl. Lord, in the process, Murrow and Bond rescued number 8 Alabama's chances of making college football's playoff, connecting for a last-minute touchdown on 4th and goal from the 31 to beat Auburn 27-24. There's not even by the numbers, man. I don't be calling for people's jobs and all that, but Auburn's defensive coordinator. I mean, you rushing the guys. I mean, come on, dog. What was that?
They didn't rush. They only rushed 3.
That's what I'm saying. You got to do something.
2.
Yeah. I just looked at it back here at 5:30 our time. I was like, they only rushed 2 players. Come on.
Yeah. Well,
that's awful, D. Yes. Alabama is absolutely very fortunate to still be in it.
Yes.
It's causing this kind of talk like how we're doing tonight. Very passionate talk, which I really, really like, and I'm glad it's not me that's arguing with you today.
I don't disagree with y'all. I'm just telling y'all how it is. My life is my life. I understand what you guys are saying. I'm just saying that I agree, and there's been years I've been arguing the same argument.
Yeah.
And as long as there's human beings doing this, and no disrespect to it, because Condoleezza Rice is in the room making a decision based on what? Based on what? They beat them this week. Okay, well then what does that mean? Why? No. No. Which conference is better? Who plays better defense? Who's played better offense? Who's had more teams in the top 25 all year? All these things have to count some way. And it has to be a mathematical equivalent to these things. That's all. It has to be a mathematical equivalent that we can use to say, okay, well, this equals that, and that equals that. And then you put it together. Because that's what the fuck they did before, fellas. Whether we liked it or not, it's exactly what they were doing 10 years ago. And we don't know what the program is. And the numbers could have been skewed. And I say this as a conspiracy guy and saying, listen, all this crap is why, the betting lines are what they are, because you got human intervention. But what I'm saying to you is, this is what they used to do. And everybody was mad then. Right? But at the end of the day, even going way, way back, it was what it was. Because when it was Miami number 1, it usually was like, yeah, you're right. Ohio State number 1, Maurice Claret, yeah, okay. Alabama, LSU number 1, this one number 1, yeah. Okay. It usually averaged out to be a better situation than what we have today. That is all.
Okay. We appreciate the DA. DA is definitely on it tonight. Let me move on to the next game I had here.
I don't get to talk.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dan. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I did you like I do Eric sometimes. You're right.
Come on, bro.
Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
I watched this game. Damn.
I spent my goddamn time on this shit.
He
Hey,
just bypassed me. His fucking God.
I'm doing research. Come on. No, like this was an awesome game, and hats off to the Auburn young men. They played their
Yes.
asses off, and they gave Alabama a fight of their life. And like we just talked about, they fucking rushed two, and that's it. Milrow was in the pocket what seemed like an eternity.
An eternity, bro.
He's still there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's still looking for an open receiver. But yeah, like the thing that like impressed me is Vaughn broke to the side of the end zone, but
Yes.
the pass that he put in there was absolutely a dime. He put it right where it needed to be, and you can't fault the kid that it's playing defense on him because shit, he's been chasing him around for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You know that the longer you get, like I don't understand, like anything, whether it's professional or college, where you just drop back and rush 3 or 2 or 4. You don't put any pressure on the quarterback. All they had to do was rush 4, put pressure on Milrow, and he wouldn't have the time to find that dude.
Game's over then, right?
Yeah, but they didn't. They rushed 2. They gave him an eternity. He made a beautiful pass, and this just lines up with my conspiracy theory and chaos that we're going to have 8 teams that are 8-1, and let's see who gets in. But yeah, this was an awesome game. Like I was like, oh, like he got sacked or whatever it was, and it was like 4th and 31. I'm like, there is no way in hell they're scoring a touchdown, because that's they had to score a touchdown because they couldn't get a first down. It was 4th down. It had to go to the end zone.
Unless Jimmy Banana said, "Yeah, hey, listen, if you get this money over here in this game."
Yeah, it was.
Right.
I mean, it was a really good game.
No, it
And
was.
I know Kev was like text me, "Oh, this Washington game," and I'm like, "No, there's no fucking way I'm turning this off.
But see,
I'm watching this."
that's always, it is weird, but that's my point. And I say it, and I am not a fan of any football team in college per se. But I told Kev this years ago. That SEC football, though you're watching it, right? You may think it's the same from channel to channel. When you go, oh, I'm at the Penn State game and this game and that game. Then you go this team and that team, and then you look at the SEC game. You say, oh, it's just a game. You're like, yeah. Until Georgia beats Michigan by 7,000, or until Alabama beats Notre Dame by 400, or beats Texas. And dudes on the field have said, these are quotes, where dudes on Michigan were like, 2 years ago when Georgia beat them in the playoffs going there. Dude said, yo, these guys are too fast. Players don't say that shit on the fucking field about another team. Ever. Even if they are, you don't say it.
Let's move on to the next game, D. Let me go on, and this will be a little rapid fire here. We're running out of time here. And just go. Number 1, Georgia defeated Georgia Tech 31-23. This was basically a home game for Georgia. There was a bunch of Georgia fans there. Let me just read this from the AP. Kendall Milton wasn't surprised by Georgia's ability to overcome a depleted offense to continue its dominance of rival Georgia Tech. Milton, I don't even know if you call it a rival when you just beat down the team all the time. That's just me talking. Milton ran for a career high 156 yards and 2 touchdowns. And number 1, Georgia held off the Yellow Jackets 31-23 on Saturday night to cap its 3rd consecutive undefeated regular season and its 6th straight victory in the state rivalry. And yeah, you can't call it a rivalry if you keep beating the same team over and over again. Dan, real quick on this game.
Georgia, I mean,
He's speechless.
I mean, like literally, Georgia could beat the Carolina Panthers right now.
Ooh.
They have the dogs at each position. Like I said, like if Alabama beats them, it's going to be something of a fluke or a turnover or a fumble or something that gets them past Georgia. Georgia's that good.
Right.
Like they lost basically their entire offense and defense to the NFL draft. And if you watch any Sunday games, they always mention, "Hey, this guy played at Georgia." Blah
Hi,
blah
I'm
blah.
from Georgia. Yes.
Yeah.
All the
I
Philly.
mean, Philly. We got a couple on Pittsburgh. I mean, it's Kirby
Yeah.
Smart. They don't really need the NIL or whatever. People go there because they win, and they're what 29-0, I think, in their last 29 games. So
Yep. They don't lose.
yeah, so like I said, I'm all about the chaos. I'm hoping Alabama finds a horseshoe and somehow beats them because it'd be interesting to see if Georgia gets in with one loss with no championship in the SEC.
No,
That's just me, and that's my thought. Boop, done.
Go ahead, DA, real quick.
nothing on the game. It's just it's it is what it is.
It's just Georgia.
I got you. Let me move on here real quick to the aforementioned Florida State Seminoles. They are 12-0. They're another undefeated team. They defeated their rivals, Florida, 24-15. Just basically, I put this game on here like DA says. Florida State, they're undefeated, and we will see how things break down and go down for them. Now, our great producer and statistician, I had to roll back up. I think Junior said, oh, FSU only played two ranked opponents, LSU and Duke this year. So,
But they beat them.
Yeah, like I said, 13-0 with a backup quarterback.
Yeah, so I'm
You
not
can't
mad at them.
you cannot discount Florida State.
I
being in the
think they.
playoffs.
I think they're like I told you. You don't want them in because they will be. That's chaos.
Yeah, and like I said, like the what's the kid's name that got hurt?
Travis.
Travis. Yeah, that kid is a generational talent. Like he's
Oh, yeah,
been
yeah,
there
yeah.
and built with the program, and he's so goddamn good. But yes, if you say they don't deserve to be there because he's out,
No, not that reason.
but what's the
Chaos
point?
is a ladder.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like the dude is very good, but
Very, very good.
it's 11 on offense, 11 on defense, 11 on special teams. You need a whole team to win.
I would like them to be there. Actually, I know I would because they are.
Well,
They
that's
get
why
there, things are going to get interesting. They get there.
that's why Washington jumped them
Yeah.
because they're like, oh, the quarterback's out. They're going to lose this week.
Yeah, and they may
So
not. But
we'll see how it happens here in Charlotte this coming weekend when they
Yeah.
got to play Louisville, who lost to Kentucky. Unbelievable.
Kentucky's a better team.
Yeah, but I'll tell you this, though. It was kind of interesting at the beginning game where they had to separate them.
Yeah. That running back Kentucky got, he's going to be a 49er. That's a bad man. I'm just letting you know now. Yo, draft him.
I'm just going to draft him.
Oh, he's already dissing McCafferty. Like,
No. He
You're
just
not-
needs a backup. No, we just need a backup.
mhm.
He's big, he's
Okay.
strong, he's a powerful kid, he's fast, never fumbles. He hasn't he's been there 4 years. Davis, I think his last name is.
Yeah, he's seasoned. He's good.
Let me
he's serious business.
move on because we got about a minute left, and I probably shouldn't even ask this question. We'll probably have to preface it for later on because we got to do the NFL show here in a little bit. I said it earlier, Dan. Who you think's your Heisman guy this year? 20 seconds.
LSU has not had the seasons they wanted to, but Daniels has been lights out. But with way Washington's playing, I probably see the Washington kid win it, or it's gonna be Pac-12 or 15 or whatever it is.
Yeah, whoever. That's what I said.
It's either Penix or it's Bo Nix.
All right, so let me give no, you know what, DA, you got 20 seconds, and you got 20 seconds. I'm gonna give you 20 seconds.
Ready?
Go ahead.
I think Penix will win the Heisman. They are on TV every week. They have a good record. They have a great record and a great team. All I said was I thought that Jaden Daniels had a better season.
Oh, he did. 600 yards in one game. He can't play every position.
Yeah. He had the same throwing numbers as Penix, and then we add on 1,100 rushing yards. Penix had a negative 14 rushing yards this year. I'm not mad at him. I'm just saying that the kid had a better season statistically. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about wins when it comes.
And LSU is just not where they need to be.
Yep.
Okay. And again, I had to apologize to DA because I was fussing with this dude all weekend, and all because I misinterpreted a text. And I mean,
reading is fundamental.
I was at this guy's store all weekend, and he was like, "Are you drunk? What are you doing?" And I really scrolled up, and then I was like, "Oh, he does agree with me." Said,
words are hard.
So we basically said that Michael Penix Jr. he should win the Heisman. And Daniels, he had a phenomenal season, like you said, the rushing, all of that stuff. He threw for 3,800 yards. Phenomenal. Like Dan said, that's 600. That's 600. Yeah, but like I said, the wins and
40 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. Crazy.
Yeah, but
he's gonna be good pro.
Yeah. The conference that they play defense in.
Yes. Absolutely. And it might come down to, people say, I heard a dude on YouTube today, he was saying, I forgot the gentleman's name to give him the credit, but he said it could come down to this Pac-12 championship, whoever has a better game.
I think so. That makes for better television.
That's kind of why I picked one or the other.
Yeah, it makes for better TV.
They're playing each other, and whoever wins that game probably wins the Heisman.
Makes for better TV.
Yep.
Sure.
So listen, I'm glad we gave it 45 minutes to do this. We really couldn't unpack this in a half an hour. I'm glad that we started this at 6:30 Eastern, man. So this was a really, really great show. Make sure you tune in about 9 more minutes. We got the fourth and short segment. It's probably going to be fourth and long because we got a lot to get into. And we're not going to start off with the scores. We're going to talk about the Carolina Panthers owner and what's going on over there on Mint Street in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's a mess. It's definitely
Lackey, where you at, bro?
Oh, he's on. Yeah, Lackey's on.
He's on now. He may not be in 9 minutes though. He
might want to disappear.
No.
Yes. Got something to do, fellas. Got something to do.
Almost Call of Duty. Sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
I have myself. I'm Kevin L. Warren for Dan and the DA, and for the rest of the guys in the absence. This is the Sports Chasers podcast, the Gridiron College Rundown, Week 13. Thank you for tuning in. Be good, be blessed. See y'all in about 8 more minutes. Peace.
We out.